Hey everybody, so today I've got a video on the new Sleek I Divine Whimsical Wonderland palette. It's a limited edition collection. There are some cheek tints in this, like sort of chubby cheek sticks, and not that people have chubby cheeks, but you know what I mean, chubby sticks that are for cheeks, and there are also some of the products in this collection. This is a refilmed video. I filmed this video and then for some reason the footage was corrupt when it was imported onto my computer, and then I haven't been able to actually edit the footage. So I'm having to refilm it. But the packaging on this is absolutely stunning, and I have actually been using this palette quite a bit, so I feel like I'm actually a bit better to talk about it with you now anyway. So this was $8.99. The half price has gone up on these. They were $7.99 and they are now $8.99. You can buy these at Sleek Cosmetics' own makeup page, or their own website I should say, but you can also purchase Sleek at Superdrug and at Boots now, which has been at Boots for quite some time, but I think that some people don't realise that it's at Boots. I don't know whether it's just larger stores that actually stock it in store, but certainly the Boots website does carry Sleek products and they often do have offers on, so it's worth shopping around. I get most of my high street makeup on Superdrug just because I get free shipping because I've got a beauty card, but if you spend £10 you get free shipping anyway. So I feel like when you're into your makeup and you're going to be buying a couple of things, you can always spend more than £10. And I never really browse any makeup on the high street anymore, which I did a little bit yesterday and I quite enjoyed it. But anyway, this is now $8.99 rather than $7.99, and it was 2 for $10, so I did actually have a bit of a browse. The other item that I wanted was not in stock, so I did end up just picking up 2 of these because it was £1 for another one. And I know me and my pastels, I absolutely love them, so I knew that I was going to go through them pretty quickly. Anyway, I apologise I'm a bit sniffy. It's very hot weather in the UK at the moment and my allergies are pretty bad at the moment, and I might sound a bit bunged up and I apologise for that too. Anyway, the packaging is super stunning. It's very, very pretty. All these pastel shades. The packaging for Sleek in the special edition boxes is always gorgeous. They do a really good job with packaging. Now I'm going to show you the new palette first because you can see what it looks like without all the fingerprints on, as you'll see mine looks like now, and you'll be able to see the shadows before they're actually swatched, but I will swatch the old palette. So it does say on the front, as always, Whimsical Wonderland Collection, All the Fun of the Fair. So the palette is actually called All the Fun of the Fair and the collection is Whimsical Wonderland. This is printed in kind of an aqua print. It's really pretty. And then on the back it always says I Divine Mineral Based Eyeshadow Palette, and then it does say the collection. Now what I'd like is, I would prefer, I don't think we need this part here, we know it's an I Divine palette, or they could make it smaller and just put I Divine at the top. And then they could put the name of the palette at the bottom and maybe do away with this kind of address detail that we really kind of don't need, or make it smaller in some way. And then in the middle here we could have the name of the shades, so just little circles with the names in, rather than have that flimsy little plastic acetate sheet that comes on the inside that is prone to being lost. I used to just put stickers on the back and put names myself, but now I just prefer to actually sellotape that into the mirror because I don't use the mirrors in these palettes anyway. I know some people do, so that's not an option. There is no space for them to put the names around the shadows, so I completely understand why they don't do that. I would rather have a bigger shadow than them create more plastic in order to put names on. So they're quite small to start with if you kind of look at the size of them. But I just sellotape the names on the inside of the lid, and then these are what the colours look like. Like I said, I've not used this one, so it was just to give you an idea of what they look like before you start playing with them. They have the generic sort of foam eyeshadow applicator, which I'm not a huge fan of. I've just left it in there because this is actually from my makeup stock drawer. And yeah, this is the box for it. I'm going to pop that back in its box and put it back in the stock drawer. I was going to sell it or give it away, but then I've been using this so much. This is mine. You can see it's a bit more fingerprinty. I've used it so much over the past couple of weeks that there's just no way that I would get rid of that one. And yes, this is what mine looks like, which is definitely a lot more messy, and as you can see I have been using the shades quite a bit. So I have created looks. I think I've used everything in this palette now, to be fair. Yes, I have. I've used everything in this palette. I did post a couple of looks on Instagram and Valisa when I first got it, using a couple of like sort of the shades that kind of popped out to me, this one and this one. I think I used a bit of the green as well. They popped out to me immediately. I think I used the lemon and the green together and they were so pretty, but I just had to try them immediately. But today I've got on this shade and I've got this shade in the crease, and I really love how they work together. And then I've got this on the inner eye corner. So I've absolutely loving this. I do think that if you want to make it pop better, then you'd be good good to put a white base underneath. I have got one of the MAC Pro Longwear sort of colour sticks, which I have been using. A NYX Jumbo pencil in milk would also be great, but anything that kind of cancels out colour on the lids and kind of whitens them down. I also like the Dainty Doll eyeshadow primer. Of course, that's discontinued now, but if you do find it at market stalls or on eBay or any kind of cheap makeup websites, it's definitely worth picking up because it does give a nice sort of creamy light base. Again, paint pots from MAC as well. Anything that gives you like a lighter, brighter lid would be really great to make these colours pop better. They do work better on a white base, and yeah, they're really, really nice, but and they are pigmented, but I do feel like even though they are pigmented, because they're pastels, you do kind of need to pack them on a little bit more, and as you blend them they can be a bit prone to kind of washing out a little bit, so it's worth just kind of having that in mind when you use this palette or buy this palette. So what I'm going to do now is swatch these colours for you, go through what they're called, and yeah, we'll talk about the colours. So across the top row we have Carousel, Shoot the Shoots, Loop the Loop, Ferris Wheel, Twister and Teacups. So we have a nice sort of shimmery frosty ivory, a mint green, a true coral, a nice aqua blue, a softer, more peachy colour, and then this really pretty mauvey sort of pink at the end. So let's swatch them. And today I will be swatching using this, which is the Dainty Doll eye primer, and as you can see, yes, I've massively hit pan. I've got a lot of backups of this because this is now discontinued. This is really great for putting pastels on top of, just because what you'll see on my hand, it's very, very opaque and it gives a nice sort of very ivory base for it to go on, so it allows the true colour of the pastel to show through. But I'm going to do 2 rows of swatches, one with this underneath and then one with just ordinary primer, just so you can see the difference. And just so you can see before I start swatching, got an ordinary primer here, and then that's the Dainty Doll, so you can see it gives it kind of nice base for the colours to pop on top of. Okay, so here we go. So what we've got is the swatches, like I said, on the Dainty Doll, and then on ordinary primer. It is 1 pass of the brush with each, and I have done brush swatches. I find these just work better with brush swatches than finger swatches. I don't know if that's because they're pastel. They are a little bit chalky and you do get a little bit of kickback out of each of them. More so, I would probably say out of these two, these are kind of the frosty shades. You do get more kickback out of those. But as you can see, this is 1 pass, so this is basically rubbing the brush in once and then putting a swatch. And I think you can see that they do pop a bit more on a white base than they do on just the skin, but they still do show up really well, I think, anyway. So, shade by shade, we've got Carousel, which is a little difficult to see there, but it's just a very frosty white. You can see it better there where there's no base underneath it. So that's one you could probably use much better without a base. But I'd use it as an inner eye corner or brow highlight, and I wouldn't use the base like right in the inner eye or on the brow anyway, so that's fine. Then we've got Shoot the Shoot, which is this beautiful green colour. It's a lovely mint green. And then you've got Loop the Loop, which is a coral. Both of these have some frost to them, as you can see. And they do both still swatch quite nicely on ordinary primer. So this is a matte shade. So you've got 3 frosts and then a matte, another matte and then a frost. So 2 mattes on the top layer. So Ferris Wheel is a lovely aqua blue. This definitely performs better on top of that white. As you can see, it's not quite so strong swatched on its own. Then you've got that lovely peachy pink colour, and that one is Twister. Super pretty. Again, not so strong there. And then Teacups, which is a true frosty candy pink. And that kind of swatches nice both ways. On the bottom row, we've got Hit the Bell, Swing Boats, Hookah Duck, Helter Skelter, Dodgems, and Hall of Mirrors. So you've got a nice, that's a true, well, this is probably what I would say is more of a frosty pink. When I look at it, that's more of what I would call a mauve. Then you've got a nice actual true peach, whereas at the top you've got like a pinky sort of peach. This is a true peach. You've got a lovely lemon. Then you've got a nice sort of very soft grass, almost a grass green. I wouldn't say it was lime because it's not like very zesty. It's got a nice calmness to it. It's not like zingy. You've got a nice lilac shade here, and then you've got this silver. So again, we'll be swatching over the Dainty Doll and over Ordinary Primer. Okay, so we have Hit the Bell, which is the Mauve Frost. No real difference there. The next 3 shades are stronger on the lighter base, and they're all mattes. Well, the next 4 are mattes. So you've got Swing Boats, which is a lovely true peach. Hook the Duck, or Hook a Duck, which is a true lemon. That lovely green, which is called Helter Skelter. Dodgems, which is a lilac, which is very poor without like a base underneath. And Hall of Mirrors, which is pretty strong both ways. Absolutely gorgeous. And that's it for the Sleek All the Fun of the Fair palette from the Whimsical Wonderland collection. I absolutely love it. I think it swatches really well. I think it swatches even better when you put a lighter base underneath, which is something to keep in mind. You do have 6 mattes in here and you have 6 frosts, so it's an even split, and they're gorgeous. They look beautiful on, and I will definitely do some looks coming up with this. So don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are and whatever you are doing. Bye guys.